What's up, e-bikers? This is the Tamobyke V20. It's an Amazon special. They reached out to me to review this thing. So it's a low-budget e-bike. Keep that in mind as you watch this video. So it has some redeeming qualities, but it's got some poor qualities as well. Let's get into it. Okay, so this might be the lowest priced e-bike that can go 27 miles an hour. That's right. It is fast. I did have some issues out of the box when I first got this thing. There are two problems. So the first problem was this front cabling here was not properly it wasn't properly set. It was actually coming underneath the fork over here. And I'll show you a picture of that, some video of that on the screen. It's coming through here. So I could not put the handlebars on properly. I couldn't get them to stretch enough. So I basically had to remove the entire parts from the handlebar, reroute the cable through this way, and reset it all basically. That was problem number one. Problem number two was that it came spec'd as a European e-bike. The top speed was only 15 miles an hour. And so I had to email the company and they sent me instructions for unlocking this thing. And once I did, that really unleashed the beast here as far as this Tamobyke goes. When I first got it, it was going like 15 miles an hour. It was only at 3 modes. Now it's got 5 modes of assist, and it can hit 27 with throttle only. And the price of this e-bike is remarkable for what you can get with this thing. It's ready. It's not $9.99. It's not $8.99. It's $7.99. That's right. For the price of electric XP Lite, you can get a Tamobyke that can go 27 miles an hour and rip around the corners on these on dirt roads or streets and even baseball fields like I'm filming here today. So that's the headline here. 27 miles an hour for $7.99. Available on Amazon right now. I'll throw a link in the description. Let's go through the specs here. 750 watt motor back here with 70 newton meters of torque, sitting on 20x4 CST big fat tires. We have a 15 amp hour battery here, so you're not going to go too far. The estimated range is 37. I'm testing the range now, so we'll see how it does. The bike only weighs 62 pounds, which is a good thing. That's less than an electric XP, I believe, by 1 or 2. So you can look at the frame here itself is kind of like, it's really just like hollowed out aluminum, I think. So I'm not sure how strong it is. If you want a beater e-bike, this would be a good one to get if you don't care what happens to it, because this thing is not going to last probably too long, in my opinion. But it is kind of cool looking. It reminds me of the S4 from EUI I had on the channel, just with lesser parts and cheaper parts and a cheaper frame, essentially. So you got like the mag wheels. Those are nice. They only got mechanical disc brakes, so no hydraulics here. Payload's about 330 pounds, so if you're a big guy, you should do fine in this. I'm 6 foot. My legs are pretty parallel with the frame when I'm sitting on it, so it's not that uncomfortable. What I like about it versus the EUI bike, you get a full motorcycle seat back here. On the S4, I had to add a second seat in the back, so I'm sitting really way back here, and it's a little bit curved here as far as the lip goes. So that's a pretty good thing. So it's fairly comfortable to ride, actually. Not gonna lie there. What else? 7 speeds, so SIS shifter there. Pretty cheap grips, twist throttle. We've got a lot of electronics on it though. We've got the headlights component. We've got certain signals, which I'll show you. And here's your control pad, plus and minus and power. Here's a look at that screen. Not sure if you can see it too well here. It's kind of a nice screen for $7.99 that you get. It's horizontal, which I like. And twin forks, of course. These forks are nothing to write home about. They're definitely, they bottom out all the time. And it's even like the end caps up here are just empty. You can like see right down into the fork, which is kind of weird. I don't know if that's a design thing or they just forgot them or what, but yeah, nothing on there. So, well, let's get this thing on the road and show you what it can do. Oh, let me show you the turn signals before I get there. It is a brake light. I'm gonna hit the left one here, and there it is. It's not a bad turn signal, actually. It's got that nice arrow. It's fairly bright for daytime. I'll do a night shot for you as well, but it's got some warnings on here. It's got a QR code. I'm not sure what that's for. Oh, it's for the app. Okay, there is an app that comes with this bike. I didn't know that. But it feels pretty cheap riding it. But again, if you want a beater e-bike that you don't care kind of what happens to it, this might be a good one to get. Here's the middle shock here. It's a pretty bouncy e-bike. You know, you can kind of bounce on that seat as you're going down the road. But let's go hit the road test and see how else this thing, what else the thing can do. All right, here's the Tamobyke at night. Here's the display. It's a little foggy out here, I guess, but there's the light. There's the throw. It's pretty far. I mean, it goes pretty deep, and it's pretty bright down here on the entrance of it. But yeah, I mean, it's going way down to my neighbor's house down there. Let's check out the flashers. There's the right side. Back to the left. Alright guys, we're on this Tamobyke. I don't know, the speed seems to be off by a couple of miles, even though I unlocked it. This, to me, was, without this, it seemed accurate. I thought I was going pretty fast, but at the lower speeds, it's off by 2 or 3 miles an hour sometimes. So we'll have to see. Let's check out these PS levels and do the top speed run. Up and down to PS1, which I think is like 6 miles an hour, yeah. But according to the speedometer app, I'm at 7. Okay, so GPS says I'm at 7, the bike says I'm at 6. PS2, do 9 miles an hour. Okay, now they match. Okay. PS3 should be about 15. Yep, yep, there we go, they match, okay. PS4. 21, the bike says, and there's the GPS, okay, so they match. And finally, PS5. Let's do this top speed run, come on. Come on, bike. This thing takes a while to wind up. Once it does, this thing flies. No one's coming. We're at 22. Got it here. 25, 26. Okay, the GPS is catching up. It says 22. Now it says 24. Now it says 25. Now it says 26. And all right, we're at 27. Now I'm in cruise control. This has aggressive cruise control. Little green light is on here. You can see that or not. Yeah, this thing wants to go cruise control all the time, pretty much, when you're using the throttle. Okay, GPS says 26, bike says 27, so. Let's test the brakes. Mechanical disc brakes. When they grip, they stop. What can I say? Dead stop. This bike takes forever to get going. So it's not very torquey, even though it's got 70 newton meters of torque. So from that perspective, it's not going to jolt you off the line or whatever. want to try and re-engage cruise control and see how long it takes. Alright, I'm going to hit the throttle now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. The green light just went on. And that tells you you're in cruise control. This bike is very bumpy, very bouncy. You can just feel that reverb on that rear shock back there. And the front shock, well, the front shock is pretty bouncy as well. It does bottom out. Okay, here's my hill test. We have essentially two parts to this hill. One's about an 8% grade, the other one's about 10%. The throttle only here. Good pickup off the line as we start to climb. 13, GPS says we're at 10. I'm gonna go by the GPS on this one. Now we're at 11 on GPS. 12 on GPS, it says 15. So, yeah. It's almost like the speedometer is too quick to tell you what speed you're going to be at. Now they're closer to 14 and 15. See, that's kind of weird. I got cruise control on. I'm going to start pedaling. Let me hit that brake. Turn cruise control off. Drop the gear down a bit. Switching gears has been a little bit of an issue. I had to reset the chain into the highest gear. Okay, we're doing 10 miles an hour according to GPS. Bike says 12. But we're still going strong. Now we're hitting that steep part. Still at 10, now we're at 9. I'm working my legs a little bit. Oh, there's 8. And I'm back to 9. Okay, so we hit 8 miles an hour on the GPS. I think the bike's at 10, so let's try a downhill run. Oh, that's a Maverick. I'm getting a Maverick, by the way, guys. Hybrid Maverick. Coming to the channel to transport my e-bikes. And actually, it's silver, just like this one, so I gotta take a quick look at this thing. This is an XL, I got an XLT. But, it's got the steel wheels in this one. That's the color I'm getting, so. Just got built a couple days ago, and another month or so I should have it. Alright, let's go do my downhill run, and I'll wrap this thing up. And this bike is 62 pounds. It definitely feels light. It feels like you just throw it around. So, you know, I wouldn't say it inspires confidence when riding. But it's, what do you want for 800 bucks, right? So. Okay, this says 23 on GPS, and the bike still says 15. Now we're at PS3. If I bump up the PS levels, then the speedometer goes, which is kind of weird. We're at 28 already. On G29 on GPS, 30 on GPS. Bike says 27. So, something screwy with that. 31 on GPS, 32, 33, 34. Hit the brakes. Alright, no squeaking. Stopped pretty good at that higher speed, so let's go wrap this up. Let's talk about my likes first. I like the tail light. I like how it looks. It's got that nice kind of Audi style tail light. And it's fairly bright for the day, so it is a cloudy day out today. I like the display, although the software needs some work. I like the look of the display. It's pretty cool looking. You know, it's got the front headlight button here, which is cool. Let me turn it on. It's got a nice horn on there. I like the tires and the wheels. And I like the seat too. It's a nice comfortable motorcycle style seat. It's really long. It's a good, I'd say 2 feet long at least. And it curves at the end so you can sit back more, which I do. Let's talk about dislikes. So first of all, the cable management problem, that was a major annoyance. It took me like a half hour to fix all that and remove the grips and everything and slide it back under here and put it back together. so I couldn't ride it right away. The battery is only 15 amp hours, so right now I'm at 13 miles. That's about 12. If I topped it off, I got 12 miles into it, and I'm at 3 bars left. It's already gone down to 2 on this ride, so I only think I'm going to get about 20 miles, just basically beating the hell out of it and using throttle only. Let's talk about the kickstand. This bike is way too tall when it's upright. In fact, it's already tipped over on me like 3 times because the angle there is just way too tall. It's not down enough. Now that's a very small kickstand anyway, so I'm not sure how I can fix that. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. Maybe I can get a adjustable kickstand. But this thing is it's really tippy. I mean, just look at this. It's one false move, one wind, and it's going down. So in fact, it's already gone down on me a few times. Now the front fork, it sucks. I mean, you hear it kind of bottom out over certain bumps out there, and I don't know what's going on with these forks in terms of the end caps. Where's the end caps? Just not a very good quality issue there. Overall, it's comfortable though. I'll give it that. So anyway, I'll throw a link in the description, and if you want a beater e-bike, I mean, look at this thing. You can, if you don't care what's happening to it, then the Tamobyke V20 may be for you. So catch you on the next Crisscrossed.